Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday. It is another day for like clockwork. Sorry, I was out last week. I was a little under the weather, and thank you everybody who was here and just kind of held it down. Really, it was really good. I was able to watch. I wasn't so dead that I couldn't watch what was happening. But yeah, and so we did kind of push a little bit of story forward, and that's great. We are here this week to continue on from where we were, see what happens with everybody. I want to say a couple of things before we start. First of all, it's been a hard week for a lot of people with the storms and everything in the South, especially in Texas. And so I just hope for anyone in our audience that was affected by that you're okay, that that you're getting the help you need, and that you get back on your feet. I have family in Texas and some really good friends in Texas, and I've heard a few of the stories, and it's been a hell of a thing. So yeah, stay safe down there, and do what you can to stay warm and take care of each other. So yeah, with that aside, we are still doing our Kickstarter stuff, rain or shine or inclement weather in Texas notwithstanding. We are at what, like 8,300?
We are at, yes, 8,310.
8,310 and 92?
92 backers, and we have 10 days to go.
I think we have some like art or something that we can show everybody if we get to 100.
Yeah, so if we get 8 more backers, we are releasing some specially commissioned art that Danny has done of some of the characters in different like art styles and concepts and stuff, which is really cool. We are $1,690 away from our first stretch goal, which I'm getting excited but nervous. With 10 days left, I would say, like, for us to really hit our $15,000 stretch goal, which is getting the full color comic out to everyone, by 5 days to go, we would need to be at 10K. So if you've been thinking about doing it, if you've been waiting, now's the time. Shoot the support. Again, $1,690 to get us to our first stretch goal. That's doable. We can do it. So let's keep it moving.
Right. And then color. I mean, I'd really love to see it in color. I think that's some of the only, like, there's been very few criticisms, and most of the criticisms have not been directed at the art, incidentally. But some of those criticisms, the few that have been at the art are the kind that would be just, they wouldn't be there if it was in color. So yeah, that's a goal that I want. Eventually, one day, we'll color it anyway when I'm independently wealthy and can do all these kinds of things for myself. But if we want it in color now, and I'd really like to see that. So yeah, support the Kickstarter. Other than that, we've got our standard lineup of shows this week. We added a Thursday night D&D.
Yeah, we have D&D Episodicals 3, which is our all LGBTQ plus cast. And we just had session 1 this past Thursday. We had a couple of technical difficulties, but if you want a new D&D show to start, we're playing Stormlord's Wrath, and there's only 1 episode to catch up on, so now's a great time to follow along with us.
Yep, catch up on that. It's still on Twitch, as a matter of fact. Yeah. And anyone else? Wednesday night, we still got Saving Throw show.
Yeah, every Wednesday on the Saving Throw show, we're playing different GM list games. So if you've had a hard time getting your friends together to play games, there's a lot of different things that we're introducing. So yeah, check us out.
All right. And then John, you got something that you wanted to share?
Yes, I don't know if I'm actually allowed to do this, but you can just tell me if I can't. You can say no. I wanted to kind of sweeten the pot for the Kickstarter as it was. If you can get to 100, when we get to 100, for whoever the 100th person is, I'd like to offer to ship them a baked good of their choice: lemon bars, brownies, cakes. I know that, like, Panabon doesn't have as much baking ability, but John has a lot of baking ability. So yeah, so I'm sweetening the pot for that. I don't quite know how that would
Literally.
work, or if I'm allowed to, but I thought I'd do my part and offer some lovely baked goods to whoever our mysterious 100th backer is, or if it's a group, I'll send out a few packages. I'll just any way I can help. I really want color for the wear. So like I'm willing to grease the wheels if I got to use Crisco to get there. It's what I'll do.
John, you got me
Amazing.
sold,
go.
man.
Alex is like gonna put in another.
unback, and then I'm gonna wait, and then I'm gonna back again.
And if I tell Steve we get goodies out of it, he'll be like, yeah, whatever.
I'll
There you
make
go.
gluten free. I'll make gluten free. I'll make you got allergies. I'll honor that. Like whatever I got to do, man. Just let me know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyone else have anything they want to kind of put out or share before we move on? All right. Well, I'm really excited to get going, and with all of that behind us and all of that said, it's time. All right. Just got word that no show goes without technical difficulties. We just got word that Sarah's Fantasy Grounds is acting up, so she's going to be repairing that. In the meantime, we'll do a quick recap of what's been going on, so that we can get her back on and not miss anything. So everybody met up in Merkudashta. They've been some of the folks who knew each other from before have been reconnecting in certain ways. They ran into some trouble in the markets. Eventually, they were winding down for the evening, and they ran into some trouble in the form of a murder on the streets, just kind of right outside. Stepping out, they also ran into some of the Inquisitors from the Empire of Palakun. After some little bit nervous conversation between them and Perunia, the one that they gather is the actual Inquisitor of the pair kind of stormed off. I think he was a little insulted by Aegis. And the other one accompanied them down to the graveyard where they were going to drop off this body that had been murdered. And there they kind of discovered some sort of creature that was maybe possessing a body, and then it left. It was a little bit incorporeal. And as it was leaving, it caused several of the corpses in the open graveyard to rise up. So there was a little bit of a battle there. A harrowing night for several of them. They had never seen such a thing before. So Perunia and Lox in particular did not even go to sleep that night. They just stayed up drinking. And the next day tried to figure out how to get ready to kind of get out of town. Set up a lot of plans for getting camels and for getting just kind of the gear that they would need for the trek across the desert. Aegis got them a really good deal for taking on positions as guards. And by really good deal, I think no one else is happy with that deal except for the caravan master. But we'll see how that turns out. Then that evening, Panabon was kind of traipsing around trying to find some sort of way to really be able to deal with these sort of dead things that that they weren't pleased with in terms of how quickly they went down after being stabbed. Panabon is used to things falling quickly. These did not fall quickly. That makes Panabon sad. So they were trying to figure something out. They ran into a Madame Besley in the southern area where he learned that, or they learned that it was associated with the guild, and that Madame Besley kind of read between the lines, which is not something a lot of folks can do when dealing with Panabon, and figured out what Panabon wanted, and so offered it for a price, come back later, have it ready for you. Meanwhile, at the Blue Joke Lodge, the orcs were hosting a sort of a pit fight night, MMA sort of UFC version in this world, I guess. And Perunia went into the ring, won her first match, then got beat up by the stand-in player Thomas, who brought in a ringer. And
Fuck that guy.
So there was that. Then there was some trouble with Rosalia as some deranged kind of individual came in, presented ears that looked very much like elf ears, and kind of teased that they were going to kill Rosalia themselves. That caused a stir. The Savrufti, the lodge chief, kind of demanded that they fight it out in the ring. They did, to the death. Rosalia won with a little help from her friends, whether she needed it or not. They were there for her. They had her back. And that's kind of where we left off. There was Flint was going to fight Brekro to see if he was going to be the champion for the night. And they put most of all of their money on that match. And then they lost it.
So
all
double
that
fuck
money.
that guy.
Silly and irresponsible.
So, ironically, Panabon is the only one who has any significant funds at this time. I think that a couple of folks have a few coins or bills. We'll have to work that out. And they headed back to the inn down south to kind of maybe cap off the night. Had a few conversations, a few heart-to-hearts, and that's where we pick up the story. I normally won't do such a long recap like that. I just wanted to make sure that Sarah was able to get back on. So with that, we open in the tavern downstairs where Shaylun and Rosalia are kind of sitting at the table. Rosalia is mostly waiting for Perunia and to be done so that she can just kind of go and go into her trance on the roof out in the fresh air. And Shaylun is just sort of thinking about all the events of the day and where their money went and how they're going to pay for all the stuff they're supposed to pay for. And so that is the scene.
Rosalia, I know I ducked out at the fight. Good job with that big jerk face. But I wanted to make sure he didn't come back from the dead like the other ones did. So I went after him and made sure to burn the body. But first, I don't know what rituals or religions the elves have, but I thought maybe it would. I just realized how weird it's going to be if you don't have anything like this. But she rifles through her satchel and pulls out the ears on the string. Goes, I don't know if you want to bury what's left of your kin, or if I'm just really creepy right now.
So you have the elf's ears that the guy had presented before.
I think I'm going to bury them. I'll take them outside and do a ceremony. I'm not going to keep their remains with me because it's bad energy.
My eyes dart down to the thing around her neck.
That's different. That's somebody that I killed. Doesn't count. Trophy,
Right.
kinship versus trophy.
Right. Well, some of your you did wonderful and cool magics. I would love to learn from you if you don't mind sharing how you do some of that stuff. I know we talked earlier about strategizing together.
Who else has good magic? I
Who?
think Raja.
Raja?
I'm
Locks.
Lox. I think that Lox has good magic too. I think between the three of us, we could come up with something in case we get attacked again.
Yeah, I'm happy to share all my notes about the things that I can do and collect any data and do research and perhaps find more. I just realized I'm doing the wrong accent. I have to flatten it out a bit. Sorry. I'm being Professor Hughes right now. So well, I'm gonna flatten that. So I'm happy to do any research to help try to find new magics that maybe we don't know about that have leaked into this world as well.
So I think your magic is different because I think that Rox and I get our magic from a deity or deity. Something that's outside of us, but I don't know where you get your magic from. It's different.
Interesting. That's a fascinating philosophy. And she starts mumbling to herself about it as she like gets out her quill and starts writing and like thinking like, well, if it was an external factor and that channels new magic, but could someone without that benefactor, supernatural or otherwise, be able to access the same magic somehow? I wonder if it's just a plea to that deity. Does that deity also exist, or are they just humoring themselves into thinking that there is?
What is your kind? Where are you from? What are your people?
I'm from Ireland. It's in the east, the northeast, and I mean the gnomes are just travelers. We aren't really from anywhere. But what?
So you're a gnome.
I'm a gnome. Yeah. Sorry, I thought everyone knew what gnomes were.
No, I just didn't know that gnomes were so inquisitive, but that's cute.
Oh. I'm not trying to be. So anyway, like if the gods are real, how many are there, and do they each have access to different magics? Like this is a lot of questions that we should have answers to. So I'm gonna keep taking.
About that time, the door opens, and being as late as it is, I mean, there's still plenty of people in the tavern down in the southern part of Mercadashta. That the night has not ended for folks down there, but it's lessening to the point where someone entering is a little bit of an attention catcher. And looking over, you see a copper dragonborn that you recognize from the other evening, the dragonborn that had gone with you down to the open graveyard and fought alongside you. And next to him is another man that is dressed in sort of ostentatious purple robes. He is missing from my thing. He is looks like he's well-to-do. The clothing, besides being purple, which is a hard dye to kind of come by, it's very clean. It seems like it might be some sort of like a silk type of material. I'm going to be very angry. This is the second time this has happened, where I created something and it went away when I closed the system. Very sad. That's okay. The Dragonborn locks eyes on Rosalia and starts to move over in your direction. The purple robed man follows.
I want to roll perception.
Okay. What are you trying to figure out?
They are friendly.
If their intent is friendly?
Friend or foe, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and make that be an insight check as opposed to a perception.
Skills or skills?
It's still skills. It's in the skills.
Shay hasn't even noticed them.
Oh, that's trash. Okay. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I see it. So they don't necessarily seem. They seem intent. The Dragonborn especially seems intent, but you can't think of a reason why they might be coming to, like, the Dragonborn would be coming to attack you, especially in the tavern. That said, this is a strange place. Some random guy came up to you in a orc lodge and told you he wanted to take your ears. So who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, they are approaching. Is there anything you want to do before they get to you? Your mic's not picking up, I think.
Definitely want to make sure that I know where the exit is, and I want my back to the wall so they can't get behind me because I'm naturally on guard. That's just how my kind are. And I'm sizing them up. Most likely, in my mind, they're looking for another Dragonborn, so I'm going to question why they're coming towards me when they get in my space.
Sure. Oh, pardon me. This is the Dragonborn speaking. You are companions with oh, her name was something Avril Avenge. Avril Avenge. The darker Dragonborn, yes?
I am companions with some people and not companions with others. Why do you ask?
Well, recalling the incident last night in the graveyard, if you will recall. Well, this is Roja. He is he's interested in these sorts of matters. We have. It would be best if I could speak to not just yourselves, but also perhaps the rest of your companions. It is a matter of some importance, and I'd rather not repeat the story more times than I have to.
Are you friend or foe?
I would like to think that we're friends, friendly anyway.
Well, if you're sure of your intent, and if your intent is good, I can inquire about some people who may know the people that you speak of, but I cannot guarantee they can come out and speak with you. So if you'll give me just a moment, me and my companion here will try and find them for you, but I cannot tell you where they are.
Absolutely. Thank you. The man in the purple robes is not. It doesn't have. There's no sense of creepiness or hostility, but there is a awkward sort of a stare that he's just kind of staring at Rosilia to the point of awkwardness. It's not like like I said, it's not creepy or hostile, but it's definitely like, hey guy, blink, sort of thing.
Companion asked the dragon, is he a seer? Does he see things?
Pardon me. When Tieske told me that you might be an elf, I scoffed at the notion, but you very well may be. So forgive me. I was surprised, is all.
Selena doesn't say anything. She just stares at me. She turns and goes back upstairs to find her friends.
Shay's
Okay.
still at the bar. She has not even noticed that this conversation took place.
All right. So as Rosalia goes upstairs, are you heading? You know where Locke's and Aegis's room is, and you know that Perunia and Panabon are on the roof. You have to pass Locke's and Aegis on the way to the roof, but your choice.
I'm gonna go up to the roof.
Okay. Actually, looks like Perunia made a choice for you, which is she's not here. So.
I'll go up to the roof and find Panabon.
Hello.
Hi, we've got some friends downstairs. I think we should all go down and talk to them, but I wanted to get you in Perunia because I think for us to show up in numbers is the best idea, just in case they have any squirrely thing in mind. They don't seem dangerous.
Oh, good. That was my next question. If I should be stabbing anyone tonight.
Possibly,
yeah.
There's a possibility. Maybe that's why you should come down.
Oh, that's exciting. I haven't gotten to stab anything in a long time. So I'm in. I'm in. Is there anything I should know before we head downstairs?
They said they had some important information, but most importantly, I think that Lox is really hard to wake up. So if you have any tricks to wake Lox up, that would be great.
Sure. Okay. So what I do is I go bounding and I go down the stairs. Lox! Lox! Wake up!
What in tarnation?
We have a meeting to go to.
Little gnome. Why are we yelling at this time of night? I'm trying to sleep. You said a meeting?
Sure, but apparently we're going to either stab some people or not stab some people. So I feel like you should be there.
Yeah, let me get Aegis. I go grab a cup of water and toss it on him. Zach! Apparently we're wanted downstairs. I ain't sleep.
Every time, Locks?
Yep, every time. Let's go.
All right. So meanwhile downstairs, as Shay is writing in her journal, she may or may not be aware of someone clearing their throat behind her. But if she wasn't aware of that, then when they tap her on the shoulder, excuse me, miss?
As soon as I see Dragonborn, and especially purple-clad Dragonborn,
The purple-clad fellow is not a Dragonborn. He is a human.
Oh, okay, never mind. So do I recognize this Dragonborn then?
It's the Dragonborn from the night before that fought with you in the graveyard.
Okay, so as soon as she gets tapped, she goes, "Ah, what? Hi, what?"
The person that tapped you is the person with the purple robes. Excuse me. I couldn't help but notice that you were writing furiously in your notebook. Are you a scholar? Please, my name is Roha. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I look around and realize how absolutely alone I am right now. And I start clenching the spellbook to me.
Are you mute, perhaps? Do you have a name? Would you share it?
My name is Lampira.
Lampira. I see.
Yes. There's like noticeably one of the incandescent lamps nearby.
Yes. All right. Are you still having issues with Fantasy Grounds itself?
Absolutely, I am.
All right.
I do
So,
have my D&D Beyond up, which should have everything right. So
okay.
if that helps.
All right, here we go. Show results. Okay. So I'm gonna have a skill roll for you done real quick. It's called Deception.
Uh-oh. Thank you.
Okay. And I'll roll it again for this for the inspiration. Boom. All right. He nods. So you're from Ireland then?
What? What?
The accent marks you as being from Ireland. For Central, I believe, by the dialect.
I don't know what you're saying. I have no idea. What you mean by Ireland at all? I'm from around, as gnomes often are. And
Perhaps you need a drink. And with that, he snaps his fingers, and a glass from down the end, a ghostly hand appears around it and starts sliding the drink over towards you.
he has my attention now. I look at that and my eyes get wide and my book cracks open. Like I'm stopping myself from writing right now. Yeah. How did you know magic?
I am a scholar.
Oh, I'm a scholar too, and you so. Where did you study?
I find time to pursue my passions wherever I may, whenever I may. There's no university in Merkudashta as there are in Ireland, unfortunately. So, but we get by.
Fascinating. So you learn. Do you have a community of other scholars?
Not so much in Merkudashta. There are guilds. There's one in Giulati, the capital city. But most scholars guard their secrets. It's a bit more competitive here.
She just scribbles really fast as he's talking. Scholar means magic, and there are guilds, and it's like a lot of exclamation points after that.
In any case, I just saw you writing in your book and was interested in perhaps comparing notes about perhaps your friend, the elf.
I don't have many notes on elves.
So you haven't learned where she came from?
No.
Well, I suppose the field is still new. It's
Absolutely, very new. So, can you do other things? Like, what is your approach to the thing that just happened?
Oh, that's one of the natural ones that come easy. Just a mage hand, if you will, a magic hand. Just think it. If I need something, get it, bring it. Simple enchantment. And you?
Me what?
What? As I say, I showed you mine.
She blushes a little at that. But and she rifles through her book, even though like she knows her easy ones, but she's just like flustered right now. So I can here, and she'll grab the water that or the drink that he just pushed over and
Mhm.
like hold it in her hands and kind of glare at the glass and like go, and it turns like this brown yucky dirty color.
Yeah. Interesting. What do you call that?
A minor adjustment. Oh, you can make minor adjustments to everything around. Like, look, and she cleans it, and she'll like she just makes these different faces, and then all of a sudden, like this beautiful rosy smell comes from it, and then she like glares at it, and the top of it lights on fire, and then she snuffs that out real quick, and she starts to giggle at like showing this stuff off.
It is rather exciting, is it not? To what circle are you capable of casting, I suppose, is the term they use?
I know what he's referencing though from school, though we call it something different, but I just want to make sure I get it right though.
You don't have to.
Oh, I don't have to tell him?
Yeah, you don't have to get it right.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Your words and his words might be different.
That's true. So I'm my circle, if you will, we do a lot of writing, and we find power in and knowledge in the written word, better understanding of what it really is, and it's actually allowed us to adapt to faster incantations and rituals, and allowing us to, I keep slipping on the accent, so, and also being really fast at the work we do. It's a learning tool through focus and through our medium, which is writing and scribbling.
Forgive me. Our terms must be different. You have described to me a scholar.
Yes.
By circle, I mean perhaps an extent of power. Some incantations are more difficult than others. As you grow in experience, perhaps some of these more difficult incantations can come more easily.
I see. I don't know how to better describe it than I have.
Do you have a particular devotion? There are different types of magic, see? Some create... some tantalize the senses, if you will, create visions or sounds. Others may cause someone to believe something that isn't true. Perhaps they believe that they are a friend, or that a particular jest was extremely humorous. I would call that an enchantment.
I understand. There's enchantments, there's illusions, there's manipulations of divination and abjuration and conjuration and lots of ations. But what I'm saying is I don't have a specialty in any particular one of those, because I've focused on something that's a little new and different. I mean, it's all new, but newer, new theory, new. Like I said, it's difficult to describe. But like this, let me show you. And I'm going to use my bonus action to create a tiny quill, even though I have my quill here. And it is in pink ink. I can choose the color of ink that it comes into. And it allows me, it basically allows me to like learn spells really fast. So I just show him the quill, and then I'm like, all right, let me show you what I mean. So explain to me in detail your thought process on what you did with the ghost hand.
I imagine myself reaching out to the glass, taking it, and bringing it here.
So she scribbles for 2 minutes. And as she does it, then she like puts the quill down and kind of like tries to do something similar, but she's not paying attention, and like there's a guy sitting in front of the drink, but she like does it and pulls the glass to her.
Interesting.
So I'm really fast at learning new spells, new magics. That's where my focus is.
I see.
It's the Order of Scribes.
Order of Scribes. Very well. We'll have to look into that. Do you believe that your friend will be returning soon?
Maybe.
At this time, I imagine you have found. Oh, hey! Perfect timing. Perfect timing. I'll let that play out actually. Since Panabon was kind of coming down the stairs as Rosalia bumped into them, so I'll say Perunia is maybe a little further out, and so Rosalia, you can let Perunia know.
And Panabon is hanging back. Panabon has seen that same Dragonborn again. Oh, sorry, it was Rosalia. I didn't realize Rosalia was.
Yep.
Before it, yeah.
Perunia. Perunia.
Yeah.
So some other Dragonborn, some bold one came in and he talked to me with his friend. I don't know who his friend is. He might be like a seer or something, but he came and talked to me and he wants to actually have a conversation with you. It's regarding the situation back there. There's something he wants to tell you. So I brought everyone down just in case it's a trap. You never know with these types. But I think we should see what they have to say. They seem very interested in our group.
Okay, don't forget, I'm still going by April with these guys.
I am going to slip up on that. So maybe it's best if I just nudge you when I want to get your attention.
Okay. All right, let's go see what these guys want.
All right. Heading downstairs, Shayloon, you see first Aegis and Lox kind of coming down the stairs, and then kind of noticing you look past that way. Bra turns, doesn't see a Dragonborn, so just kind of turns back to you, and you see there is the Dragonborn from before. Panamon, you see this too. You're hanging back, but you see this, and you also see a man in purple robes that's kind of maybe looming over Shayloon a little bit.
You mind if I sit here? And I pull up a chair from another table to be awkward.
Certainly, Mr.
Lachlan.
Mr. Lachlan.
My friend said you wanted to speak to us.
Indeed. Tieske, the Copper Dragonborn steps forward and gives you a nod as you're sitting down. Is Avril Avenge coming? And he looks back towards the staircase.
It could be. Depends on what you got to tell us.
Very well. after the events of last night, I decided to speak with my friend Roha to inform him of what we had seen, what we had experienced.
Your friend Roha said what? Pray tell.
Well, he may be able to ascertain the location of the creature that escaped, and that, well, at this point, Perunia and Rosalia come down. Oh, very good.
This gay, right?
Tia, certainly. I came to inform you that, as I was saying to your friends, after the incident last night, I went and talked to my friend Roha here. The man nods, and informed him of what had happened, and he had some interesting insights to share, to include knowledge of where we might be able to find this thing that is doing all of this.
You say we very generously there, huh?
Understand that the Inquisitor sees Skultior everywhere, whether it makes sense or not. It's his job, I suppose.
I got that sense from him too.
Sorry to chime in. A school tier. What is that? For us,
Dark.
not associated.
The Dark Goddess.
You mean he sees the dark goddess of she is? Does he derive magic from her, or is she someone that he knows?
I can't hear that.
I heard it. Well, it's a little complicated, Rosalia. I will make sure to give you the history of our two competing gods in my religion on another time. But safe to say, the Inquisitor thinks all Dragonborn he doesn't agree with follow the Dark God. Whether it's true or not. Wouldn't you agree with that assessment, Tiske?
I would say you're being somewhat overly critical, but close enough for our purposes tonight.
Well, if you're saying it that nicely, it sounds like you really need us.
As I said, he sees Skultior in everything, especially in these times. So I thought best first to speak with my friend, and he agrees with my assessment. So I will let him take over from here. With that, he kind of steps back, and Roha moves into his place. Yes, so I am a scholar here in Vaishan, a practitioner of magic, if you will. And my studies have recently taken an interesting turn. I've come to discover that there are realms beyond ours. And with that, he turns his eyes to Rosalia, and that there are inhabitants in these realms. Through my divinations and research, I was able to see into these worlds, to interact on some level with the inhabitants. Well, let's just say sometimes when you reach out to something, it reaches back. And it has been a gift, certainly a gift. But the bottom line, what is important is that through that connection, I have been able to discern a rough location of this creature that TSK spoke of. And I do feel it is a danger to the city, and should be eliminated rather quickly. Unfortunately, I am not welcome in certain quarters in southern Mercadashta, if you take my meaning. So I cannot go myself.
I look around to the group. Not that we want to appear unwilling, but we are very tired. Haven't some of us slept in over a day? And we do have a trip coming up tomorrow.
And you are in need of funds, are you not?
Okay, that might be true. You might have me there, yeah.
Yeah. Hi again. It's me. How do you know that? Because that's creepy and invasive.
It does for the king. King, is that a word? It does for the ruler of Merakadashta to know the comings and goings and events happening in the city. So a troop of foreigners traveling about gathers attention, and eyes tend to be on them. And in as public a setting as the fight tournament at the Blue Joke Lodge, there is no privacy, if you will. Everybody saw what happened. It was there.
I might have also loudly exclaimed about how upset I was that Flint lost all our money out loud to everyone. So, sorry, Shay.
I assure you no one is peeking into your window at night.
Lampida, you mean?
Lampida.
Lampira, you mean?
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
I'm sitting back against I'm sitting on the table next to everybody else with a very grouchy expression on my face, being woken up. My arms are crossed. Can I roll insight at this guy to see if he's blowing smoke up our ass?
You can roll insight. Yep.
I'm fiddling with the knife from a little farther away and boring hate eyes into the back of the Dragonborn's head, because now I'm getting really upset and suspicious. And I like Perunia, but other Dragonborns not too fond of. So I haven't done anything yet, but if they turn around, they're going to see a scowl and know.
Okay. This guy seems overly earnest. Like, you asked how he knew, he told you how he knew, as if it's not even a thing. Like, duh, of course. I mean, he hasn't said what they're willing to offer, but he seems not to have mentioned being money in a sort of trite or, you know, like, he looks like he's serious about whatever he's talking about.
How much are we talking? Get to the point.
I could offer you 500 gold pieces if you are able to track down this creature tonight and dispatch it.
I look at the group quickly.
I kind of scoot in a little bit. Dare say that's a lot of money.
That would cover the camels.
Indeed.
Do you have any leads?
Go ahead, Rosalia, too, because...
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Lux.
Yeah. I just lean over and go, do you have any leads to where this creature is?
I absolutely do. That was the purpose of my original soliloquy.
You're a bit long-winded, so...
As such.
Rubbing off.
So, if you could tell us where the creature is, presumably we could wrap this up in time to still have that caravan tomorrow, guys.
Did you say that he's in another realm? Because you said you have discernment into other realms. Are they in this realm or in another one?
Good
They're
question.
from the other realm, I believe. And my connections to the other realm have given me some sense of how to find its inhabitants through various ritual. So, as I said, I can tell you about where to find this thing.
Could you excuse us? I'd like to confer with my business partners here.
Certainly. They turn and head to the bar, leaving you to discuss.
So, 500.
We have to do it.
Well,
We have to.
No, you hold on, because the last time we made financial decisions, we lost all our money, and that was your recommendation. So you just. So.
Also, there's no way it's not a trap. Like,
Well,
zero percentage.
He seems rather genuine.
Even if it's not, though, like, this thing was hunting Rosalia to kill her. Like, 500 is a lot of money, but it's not enough to cover her life.
Right. That's exactly what I'm worried about too. This thing apparently hunts elves, right? But if we're really careful, we know that it could be coming. It's possible that we could destroy it, and we could also learn a few things. This guy has ties to understanding the other realm, which is more than I know, or I think you know.
I think it's suspicious, but I
That's
don't know
why.
that we have time to learn what he knows.
Yeah, not tonight, of course, but I think we need to keep an eye on him anyway, and we need the money.
What is his motivation? Why is he so intent on having us find and what is he going to do once he finds these creatures? Is he going to make an army of them? Is he going to kill them?
Yeah.
Why does he want them?
It's got to be a condition that it has to be killed. We're not just capturing the thing. If we're going to do this job, we're going to do it to kill the thing, and that's it.
Yeah, I like that.
And, I mean, technically, I could stab him in the face afterwards if he double crosses us. I mean, technically, anything is possible.
He's not wrong. They are not wrong.
Yeah. All right. So how's this sound? We make sure that there's the stipulation that we kill this thing. We go out into the night, find this creature, and let it meet its maker. Sound good?
And that will
Concerned
ensure
that
that it won't come after Rosalia then.
Right.
I'm concerned that we might not be strong enough to take an entity like that tonight.
How dare you?
I mean,
Side-eye
you guys,
for a second, and then look back to the rest of the group.
you guys haven't had sleep, and Perunia, you're an amazing fighter, but you did get your face met the ground an awful lot tonight.
That's only because I didn't have my greatsword. I'm way better with my greatsword. It's fine.
But also, so here's a thought, just a thought. So we're being hunted by things hunting elves, by things hunting me and Panabon, and then this expensive caravan that we have now gambled away all of our money, but now have a chance to get it back. But is this our only chance to leave town? And by the way, Aegis negotiated us out of getting paid, most likely, especially if we're exhausted on 2 days of no sleep and trying to keep everyone alive. So, does this have to be our way out of town?
I mean,
If we
Jay,
get
you're
half the money
raising.
up front, we can run.
I mean, you're raising valid concerns. I don't think any of us would say that to dismiss what you're feeling. You're definitely the smartest person of this group. I feel okay. I feel like we have a chance to kill the thing that's hunting Rosalia and make some money off of it. I mean, if we fail, which is the same thing we already fought before, so we've already fought against it once. We know that we could just kill zombies, set them on fire, and run. So if we fail, I mean, we fail, but we were up against this kind of thing before, and I think we didn't do half bad.
And I know you like to burn zombies. There's some magic that you could do.
I don't like burning zombies. I'd prefer not to see zombies at all, actually. But
Also,
I do think we...
I thought we talked about better code names last time.
It was under pressure. But anyway, besides the point, I do think that it is in our best interest to eliminate whatever creature is hunting Rosalia, and that's one less problem for us to worry about down the line. So I do agree with that. So I guess if you guys think you're up to another fight and another night with very little sleep, I guess we'll do it.
I look at Lox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Lux is like rubbing his eyes, obviously still sleepy. So
okay,
we go back.
I will give everyone the benefit of a short rest. So that is hit point recovery, and for Lachlan and Rosalia, that is refreshing any spells that you may have cast.
Great.
I get
and
half my
Shaylin gets
levels, too.
1. Yeah. So
All right, let's take care of this, I guess. Hey,
Rohan.
yeah.
they turn and come back. So have you come to a decision?
We have, and I look at them like and booster myself up like I'm bigger than I am, and say, we will accept your offer on a couple of conditions first. Firstly, we find this thing and we kill it. There is no negotiating taking this thing alive.
Well enough.
Second, and I flick my eyes quickly to Panabon and go, we will take half the money as a down payment up front for risking our lives.
Well, that is not unreasonable. Unfortunately, I'm not carrying that amount on me at this moment. I will offer what's in my wallet. He pulls out his wallet, rifles through, there's several bills, counts through them, puts like 3 bills back. This is 100 mook, if you will, the gold equivalent.
As they if he offers it to anyone else, Shay snatches it.
No, he offers it to Shay because she's speaking.
Okay. That was what Shay was hoping for by taking the lead, even though she did not want to take the lead.
Right.
All right. What do you know about where this terrible thing is and what it's likely to try to do to us?
I don't. I'm sure that your companion has a name for it that I'd be interested in learning. But as far as I can tell, it's a malevolent being that takes control of the dead. It is when possessing a corpse in this way, it's not difficult to dispatch. However, having never seen this sort of thing before, it's been running rampant in the southern quarter, southern half.
So where do you think it likely is to be, whether we can find it?
Indeed. First, outside of a corpse, that is where the danger is. It's slippery. It is hard to attack. and it may have some other abilities that we don't know about. But that, again, perhaps your friend does. Again, indicating Rosalia. Where it is there's the road south from the palace. There's the road we are on. Between here and there, in the middle, and perhaps halfway south again from the center, that's where I believe you will find it.
Can you? I rip out a page from my spellbook. Can you draw me a map? Just, I'm not great with directions if it's not written down.
Certainly, I will do so. And with that, he gets down to drawing up a little bit of a map, kind of setting something up so that you can see exactly where you will be hitting. And I will give that to you in just a moment. Just asking for maps and stuff so that you can get to places. Who does that?
Smart people.
People who have been running for 3 months and don't know where they are or what they're doing.
Yes. Okay.
I'm so proud of you. You went to the fights. You're bartering for money. Look at Shade. Look at Lampira just shining like a star.
Little Lampira.
Look at little Lampira go. She is just doing the things. All right, here we go. This is a map, so I'll put it here. Boop.
I write everything down, but I didn't write that damn name I made up on the spot down so that I forgot.
Yeah. All right. So I have opened up for everybody a map that you'll be able to see. And for Sarah, that map is in a place you can access it.
Thanks.
All right. So there's the palace in the northwest of this sort of sketch. It's a really nice sketch, actually. There's a lot of detail. So that's the road south from the palace he's talking about. You guys are, there's a opening here on the kind of northeast side. The inn that you're in is on the southeast portion of that, which is right, for those of you who are here. So that's where your inn is at. He is saying that the thing is somewhere about here in this area. And for John and Panabon, Madame Besley's is here.
Good to know. That was my question.
So basically, you're going to have to go pretty deep into the into this sort of shanty town, if you will, and kind of look around this area.
Right.
That sounds like a good time.
All right. So, I'll nod at them and go. Where can we find you when the job is done?
I will return here in the morning. Actually, when does your caravan leave?
I narrow my eyes again that he knows that.
I believe it isn't quite early. It might be easiest for me to meet you in the market near the caravan quarter.
Very well. And do you need some sort of proof that this is done?
I will take your word for it.
I kind of nod, and then as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it's probably because I'm a shitty liar. So, all right, we'll get to it.
Leader will make sure we're in tip-top shape. Thanks, Lampira.
Yes, Lampira. Well, then very well. Specifically in the theater building. I have business there tomorrow anyway. I will wait for you there with your coin.
Theater building with another 400 mook. All right. I look at the rest of the team and kind of like slump down, like my job of being in charge is done. Like it's someone else's turn now.
Hey, Dan.
All right. Yes.
Considering that he knows a lot about our movement and what we've been doing, is there anybody else in this room? I know it's kind of late, but is there anyone else?
There are a few people just having drinks in the corner or a couple at the bar.
Do I notice if anyone's maybe casually looking in our direction?
Make an insight check.
I will. Ooh.
For the most part, no. There is one individual that's kind of been, it looks like he's kind of been sussing you out. You've seen him before. Yeah, actually, the night before. You remember he was here, and he looked like he might have been keeping an eye on you then as well. He's weather beaten. He's got sort of a headband of just a simple vest. His arms are bare. The vest is open in the front. There's no, if there were buttons, there's no buttons now. And simple breeches and light shoes. No weapons that you can discern.
Okay. I'll keep that information to myself for now.
Right. Well, I'll leave you to it. Best of luck. I believe you'll be quite capable. See you tomorrow. With that, he leaves. Tieske looks at Perunia for a moment and a word, if you don't mind.
Of course. I step over to him.
So, the man that you're traveling with the shield.
Hmm?
Just to be absolutely 100% clear. It's not Skultior.
Oh, it's definitely not. No way I would ever associate with somebody of that feeling. No, he has another, the humans, they make up fake deities to feel better about themselves. It's just
I care about one thing. And I'm fairly certain that it's nowhere to be found in this world. So, but you never know, and just checking the umlauts and dotting the iptos and,
Gotta do your job. I get that.
We're creating letters on the fly, everybody.
For what it's worth, I was worried when I met you in the Inquisitor, and I feel much better with you. Of course, that's probably because we fought undead together, but I appreciate that.
Different functions in the Inquisition. Mine is to just destroy things. It's the Inquisitor who you should more worry about.
Well, to each their own, and I am not this thing the Inquisitor sinks, so I will stay on his good side then.
I don't know that he has one.
Fair enough.
Be well. Good luck tonight.
Thank you,
He
Tiske.
turns and heads out.
Well, all hail Milfrone.
Damn, I didn't know I liked Copper Dragonborn.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're heading out that way. Does that sound like the plan?
Just as a matter of flavor, before we do,
Yeah.
I sit down at this table, reach into my pack. I pull out this kind of a high metal frame, it looks like. I slide a candle into the middle of this frame, and I pull out a metal kind of a tin, and I put that down, and then I pull out a jar, and it has very, very dark tea in it. And I start putting that into a little tea bag that I have in my bag, and I wave over a server. Water?
Yep. Water comes. It's the water seems okay. The glass is a little dirty.
It's fine. We are probably going to need this, Mr. Locks. And I proceed to make a very, very strong caffeinated tea.
I agree. And I take a nice little of it.
Anyone else?
Yes, I will take your interesting beverage.
And it tastes like strong black tea. It's like not the flavor is not like floral or complex or anything. It's just it's definitely function over flavor.
I was told by my parents not to take drugs.
We're way beyond that, Lampira. Just
I can assure you, if I prescribe you anything, that it will be for your benefit.
All right. She'll try some. She really wants to fit in.
So first, Aegis, give me a cooking check, just cause.
Cool. If I don't have that proficiency,
you haven't.
He's gonna kill us.
Then it tastes real bad.
It's gonna be wisdom.
Can I use herbalism instead?
No, you can use
Fine.
wisdom. You can use herbalism. No, you can use herbalism actually.
Okay.
Tea is an herb.
Yeah, but then it would be herbal tea, and that's like the opposite of what we're going
What
for.
he just said, yeah.
Let the man
There could be
cook.
naturally occurring
It's a
caffeine.
plant, right? So it would be
Yeah.
it would still be under herbalism in terms of that skill. Like coffee would also be under herbalism. It's functional. I will say that okay, I got a benefit in mind. All right, very
Cool.
good. Shay, go ahead and give me a Constitution check.
Uh-oh.
Or I'll have to roll that for you, huh?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll watch for it on Twitch.
I don't know if I succeeded or not until but we'll tell you what you got. Let's see. Constitution saving throw right here. Boom.
I feel like
You got
this
a
was
19?
Oh, yay! I feel like this was when I was like a baby D&D player and didn't know all the rules, and so I was like, I'll just roleplay someone else do all the stuff for me.
Someone else roll the things. So yeah, it's very bitter. It's very it doesn't taste good. No, it doesn't taste good. And you don't feel anything after. It just feels like you drank dirt water.
I make that face, and then I look at Aegis and go, tastes great. And then I make my little like face that makes it taste like rose water, and
being very insightful. Being very insightful. Please, don't lie.
Well, after she does her face, she's not lying anymore.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
so with that, is there anything else anyone needs to do in the tavern?
Oh, we're already paid up here, I think.
Panabon?
Yeah. Yes. I haven't talked to Sarah about this. I don't know how this is going to go, but Shay, I'm have to go finish that errand that I was running earlier today to go and get. I don't know, the acid, I guess, whatever I'm getting. And
I'm so proud of you for just fucking saying it.
I don't know what it is. It may not be acid. I don't know, but it's going to make me more valuable in whatever is going to happen tonight, probably. So can I borrow Minya so I can find you easily when I'm done?
Yes, but if Minya goes out of range, like so far we haven't trained Minya to be able to get super far from me without detaching and me having to re-summon her. So it depends on how far away you're trying to go.
Maybe we should just copy the map for him.
Oh, I know what you can do. Hold on. I've been thinking about this. And she goes through her satchel and pulls out. So I'm an artificer because I'm a gnome, so I can make these trinkets. And so I pull out these little copper whistles. And so I'm like, just blow on this, and then I have one too. So when you get close enough, we can hear each other, and we can, find each other and get close enough.
Wonderful. Hopefully you won't be hiding and fighting for your life when I blow on this whistle.
That's the hope. But also, I did get to make one more. I had enough time. So if someone, maybe Rosalia, if we're going to use you as bait, maybe you should have one.
We're using Rosalia as bait?
I mean, this thing is hunting her.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? If he's hunting me, or if it's hunting me, then that's why that guy keeps looking at me funny, because he knows I'm an elf, and he knows that's the way to that's the way to trap the thing.
But Rosalia, are you okay with that?
No, but there's a team of people around me. So I think that it will have to worry more than I will.
Well, and
I promise I'll go down fighting to help.
In case you get separated for some stupid reason from us, take this. And I am realizing totally as Sarah that I'm giving you a rape whistle, so
I was going to say it, and then I thought better of it, but you said it. So, yeah, that's totally what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, that is legit.
All right. So we have a semi-plan, right?
We have a semi-plan, and we are going to exercise that semi-plan on the other side of our break. 10-minute break here, and we will see everybody when we get back. All right, we are back. We are going to find out if there's a TPK tonight, because that's what Kender Mage wants.
Nice.
Right.
So everybody heads out of the tavern into the later night. It's not quite midnight, but it's getting pretty close on that hour. There's not really a super easy way to kind of go into the buildings and the very narrow alleys that make that area up. Except Panabon knows of one wider entryway, at least, the one that takes them to Madame Besley's. So the question is whether everyone's going to kind of go with Panabon till they get to Madame Besley's and then go in with them, wait for them outside, or continue on ahead while Panabon wraps up their business.
I think you should continue on ahead, because speaking as a professional whose time of night is nigh, the longer you are stationary, the less good things will probably happen to you. And I at least don't want to see you get stabbed in the face. It's just not the night for that. So, yeah. But it's up to you. You're your own people.
It's actually up to you, Panabon. Do you split from us, or are you just going to walk with us?
I was going to split and join up with you guys later, because currently I am not very useful if it's the same kind of deadomancy as we faced in the graveyard, because that just takes too long. And I'm a creature of action and habit. All of the bad ones.
All right. I'd say that's fine if you use the whistle that Shayloon gave you, and if there's any trouble, anything at all, you book it out of there and you try to meet up with us. I want to trust you, Panabon. And he gives you this really serious look that you haven't seen before. Really want to trust you. All right?
Well, you have really valuable cargo with you. So as long as Shay is with you, no bad will happen to you. So don't worry, this is my time.
It's not just me. I don't want more trouble on top of this other trouble. So you go, you do your errand, and we meet back up. And then you can stab all the monsters you want. See?
Great.
I'm looking out for you.
Make things easier to stab. My plan is proactive to make the stabbing easier. Hopefully. Who knows? We'll see.
Right.
Okay.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You'll be fine. It'll be great. Go do your thing. Go do the adventuring thing.
That's not helping.
Be fine.
All right. So with that, let me real quickly hit this button down here. All right. So entering into the and the term here for the area, the word they use is Gazadob, and this is in particular the Gazadob Kudashta. So entering into the Gazadob, there is definitely a just a sense of being crowded in. The various buildings, whatever original buildings were here, are unrecognizable. Just there's been add-ons. There's times where you kind of like have to even duck under something that someone just kind of built something overhead that may or may not have continued all the way to the other side even, and then built on top of that. And there's not as many people just kind of wandering out as you might expect. But you figure in the daytime, it's probably really crowded and hard to maneuver through. It smells of sewage problems, just like the kind of place where plumbing is a thing, and probably there's some plumbing here somewhere. You see pipes from time to time, but they're not in the best repair. So a lot of times folks are just having to kind of carry their stuff out to a location perhaps, or just dump it, or, whatever. So it is rather unpleasant. You can hear every once in a while, you hear the sound of somebody yelling, something hostile. You hear, a baby cry in the distance. There's just, it's definitely a place where there's a lot of people crammed into a small amount of space and not a lot of prosperity. It's only about 5 minutes in when you come across Madame Besley's store, and there's kind of a fork, and her it's actually a semi-nice sort of structure. It's still on top of it, and all behind it, it's got stuff has been built up, but nothing is blocking it from the sky, and it's got a rather nice storefront, relatively. The door is open. There is a light within. You can actually see maybe a couple of people inside that are maybe doing business with Madame Besley. But yeah, there's that. Panabon is heading in, and the rest of you are continuing on. All right. Panabon enters the building. I'm assuming you're in a sort of Pochran frame of mind.
Yeah, I might be using Thieves' Cant a little bit, so yes, it's actually better to not have them with me, because then I can actually do the things that I enjoy doing. Unencumbered, free, if you will.
Okay. So, yeah, entering in, you see there are two men standing over by the counter with Madame Besley, speaking in hushed tones. They don't notice you walk in right away, or they don't appear to notice you walk in right away.
I'm using so there's a specific whistle tone that you do very low in thieving locations, such as my dear herbalist sister has. When you see the sign and it's kind of a neutral ground, no stabbing, no thieving kind of thing, there's a specific dissonant whistle tone that you do that Panabon can do, but I cannot. And so just so that the madam will know that I'm not going to steal anything, that I'm browsing, and so the others, if they're of good breeding in the thieving guild, will know that if they try to stab me, I will stab them back. But it's up to them if they want to make that move first.
The whistle of friends, but unless you don't want to be, in which case I will you up. Yeah, that whistle. Got it.
Yeah. I call it the alphabet tone. It's the alphabet tone.
As you make that whistle, you hear a silence kind of over where they're talking, and then the conversation picks back up and continues. You take it as a sort of recognition of your presence. And unless you are wanting to interrupt them,
I'm willing to wait my turn, because there's something I want to say to my sister in private.
Okay. Yeah, so they're only there for about 5 minutes, and if you want to make a perception test to hear any of what they're talking about, you may. If you aren't concerned.
Not? Yeah. I'm not concerned, but I love perception. I'm all about it, so I'll do that and see what happens.
Yeah, whatever they were talking about before you got in, after your whistle, for just maybe a minute of time, the conversation turned a little bit to you, mostly a sort of like, is that the one? Madame Besley kind of saying, yeah, that's the one. He's here for the acid vials that I had to create, and they just kind of like a little bit of like, well, who is he? Where is he from? Kind of thing. Not, and I'm specifically saying he in this case because they aren't aware of your preferences, and yeah, just this sense of okay, and just kind of marking you a little bit. The two men, just kind of a recognition that you're present, that you're in the city. That you're not associated with whatever they're associated with, guild, for example.
Yeah.
And there is a sort of the thing that kind of keeps you from getting too nervous by the conversation is Madame Besley's final sort of like, I don't think they're staying here long, sort of thing, and then the sort of like acquiescence of the two men as they then go back to whatever their business was, which is picking up some herbs and other fun nighttime herb stuff things that they may be using for other herb stuff things.
Tea.
Yeah, for tea. And then as they walk past, the one of the two men kind of gives you just a little nod, and they zoom out, head out.
Good. I can always tell when someone's of good breeding and high class. I'm going to approach the counter. Good evening. I hope you're faring well.
Business is good. I was able to finish what you were asking for.
I appreciate that. Yes, the gardening is a wonder and delight to do, and so I present the coins, but I add another coin on top, and I move it in a way so that so Madame Besley know that I have something of information that may be of use to them.
Okay. She nods and kind of turns below the counter and pulls up a small satchel. Opening it up, there's several stoppered vials. So if you were to sort of spread this out in your garden, it would quickly compost the materials there faster than normal, maybe a week or so. But if you were to just simply douse the entire vial into one spot, it would compost that small area rather quickly, perhaps within minutes. Also, be careful. These are glass vials, and if they were to shatter, it would spray the contents in an area that, and if anyone was in that area, they would be in danger of being hit with these. So be careful with them. Be careful.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, the tree root in my family home, it's going to be really nice to be able to take care of that.
Yes.
It's a project my mother wished me to finish before her passing, and so I'm happy to be able to accommodate and thank you for your wonderful help in this project. I have a little bit of a gardening tip I'd love to pass along to you if you wouldn't mind.
I'm always looking for new techniques.
Yes. Well, it comes to pass that there's a new kind of snake that is in some of the gardens in the area that I think you might be interested in knowing about. It has a strange kind of venom that inhibits a person from being able to move. It paralyzes them, and it could be useful, or it could be really bad.
I see.
Yes, and this snake looks like most other snakes, but it has an extra little stripe going around the belly of it. And so if you see some snake with a stripe where a stripe should not be, you may want to be careful of that in your own garden.
I see. I will keep an eye out for this snake. Thank you.
Of course, it's been my honor, and I thank you so much for these wonderful vials. And I hope you have a wonderful evening.
I'm certain of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
All right. As you head back out in the street, realizing it's been about 10 minutes, kind of keeping in mind where about, remembering on the map, which you have a decent mind for that sort of thing. You start moving in that general direction.
Yes. How many vials of acid did I get? Did I just get like a vial of coin?
There are 4 vials.
Okay.
And you can throw it up to 20 feet with any sort of aim, if you will, and it will shatter in a 5-foot area, or you can just pour it on something directly in front of you.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to add that to my log so I could remember all that, but yes.
And they're in your equipment, actually, so just you can kind of go back to them.
That works too. Yes.
All right. Dun-dun-dun. Let's go to the back streets of Kuldashta. Nighttime. All right, so this is sort of the area that that the fellow was speaking of. I'll place folks in. There's no real fog of war here because it's just kind of the open city. and you're entering from the right side of the map. Unlike Wizards of the Coast, I make my maps with north on the up.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Because that makes sense.
Burn.
Yeah, that was a sick one.
Well, there goes our partnership with Wizco at any point.
I'm just saying that's a good idea that you could maybe use, Wizards. Stop making maps where the north is in any direction but up. They're huge maps too. Golly. All right. Everything else about the map is wonderful. They're huge. But there you are. And feel free to kind of move your tokens around a little bit as necessary. I'm going to go ahead and, for both Rosalia and Perunia, imagine that you used a couple of your
Yes, please. I did.
dice rolls to be less injured. All right, so there's
And
that.
as we get to the close to it, I want to just pull the rest of the group together and kind of game plan a little bit, because Perunia did hit the purple spirit with her sword last time and nothing happened. So guys, before we go in and fight this thing, I know that we're planning to use Rosalia as bait. I just want to be clear that once we get it out of, if it's in a dead body, once it gets out of the dead body, last time it dissipated into this purple spirit, and I think, though I'm not sure, I think we have to hit this with magic, because my sword did nothing to the purple entity. And I don't have magic, so...
So you want me to bang shoot it? Got it.
I guess?
So,
Magic.
So
real quick here.
maybe we can strategize then. If Perunia, if you are good at beating it while it's attached to the body,
Yes.
and then once it's released, then we'll have our people with powers zap it while it's incorporeal.
Yeah, maybe you can wait until it comes out in the spirit and then hit it, and I can whack at it for a while, and maybe Aegis can whack at it.
Yes, don't exhaust yourselves with spells while it's still in the flesh.
Right.
Although the Roha did say that they are more vulnerable when in bodies, so just keep that in mind. Are these haystacks everywhere, by the way? Because I'm totally hiding one.
No, those are roofs for buildings. There are some haystacks in there, but mostly the bigger ones they're straw thatched roof things.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do like a perception test for any like really bad smelling like rotting corpse stuff, because isn't that what it was in last time? So
that's what you suspect. So just as you're kind of moving through here, go ahead and and make the test as you like.
right.
But this is sort of the area.
I can't move myself. I can only draw
what?
lines. Yeah.
Okay, hold on one second.
Same.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Being that we are a cohesive unit, I will help you do that to grant you advantage.
So I already have advantage, but I'm also exhausted, so it's a straight roll for this first one.
Yeah. 1 second here.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I can make it so that you could do your own movement. There's no reason on this one to not do that. That is annoying a little bit.
Wait, there's a reason in other times?
There can
That
be.
was ominous.
There can be. Yeah.
I already picked up the dice, so let me know when I can roll it.
Go ahead and roll. I'm gonna look this up while you're rolling that die.
There it is.
Not bad. And roll it again, because you do have advantage right now, and you don't have disadvantage for a reason. Might have to do with tea.
Ooh. Yes, caffeine.
Oh, right.
I love caffeine.
Ooh.
Hey.
All right, even better. All right, so got it. All right, so There it is. Boom. Perunia can move her token. Lox can move token. Shaloon can move token.
Thanks.
Salia can move token, and Aegis can move token. Tokens are now unlocked.
Very
Great.
nice.
Okay, so it is difficult to kind of get a gauge of, because there's just so many unpleasant scents here that they're kind of mixing and mingling. However, you are able to get a sort of sense of a rather fetid smell of something that may have died, kind of emanating from this center area.
Right.
But you are uncertain about exactly where it's kind of coming from. You're not, you're not a bloodhouse.
I look
You
in the
can't be like,
well.
this is the direction. Looking in the well, there is definitely a stench coming up from the well. It is not. You would not drink from this well if you had a choice. And
That's disgusting.
yeah, and it's also there are a lot of sort of besides like kind of a sewage scent, there is the smell of like death and decay that rises up from it. But
Can I discern if it's a fresh death, or if it's a long overdue death?
if you make a perception test, I will tell you what you can tell.
Danny, if you can too, can you check how many spell slots I have after the short rest? Because I can't see it.
Okay.
Can't perceive anything. No.
It's
Burn is going to continue.
It's dark. The buildings here, most of them have probably really thin wooden doors. A lot of them are not affixed properly onto their hinges. A couple of the houses, a lot of them have lights on inside, probably candlelight in a lot of cases. You don't see anything that makes you think that there's electrical light here. Some of the buildings are dark, however, no light emanating out. And if there was a light on inside, you would definitely see that, because the craftsmanship on all the buildings is shoddy enough that there are cracks and crevices. It's a good thing, probably, that Merkudashta doesn't have cold winters.
Is there any sign of movement, like people on a regular, like, do we hear anybody in their houses moving around or anything like that?
You do. You definitely hear there are people in some of the houses, but some of them, they might be sleeping, so you don't necessarily hear anyone moving around without getting right up on the building, maybe, and pressing your ear to a door or a window. Or
Back at Rosalia, and I want to ask Rosalia if her people have any way of tracking down these creatures in their realm that could aid us.
Well, I know that we usually don't have a problem attacking them, and I know that magic will hit them. So if you use your magic, like if you have your type of magic, I have mine, and I know Shaloon has hers. So the magic can hit it.
All right. So we just gotta find it.
What are these things called? She thinks, and then
Ponders.
she ponders before she says it.
Buffering.
We call them Kia Acho.
Kia
Kia
Acho? Kia
Acho.
Acho. Kia
Yeah, Acho.
Acho. Elf eating ghost things.
I look back at the group and I go, I got a weird feeling about the guy who sent us on this mission. He's trying to get a lot of information. He was specifically trying to get this name of this creature. I think we should also watch out for him. Just putting it out there as like Lox is like looking around and at barrels and stuff.
As you say that, Prony is like, "Oh yeah, Rosalia is likely the bait," and I realize that I'm super far from her. And I'm gonna quickly go and cover her backside because I realize that if she's the bait, this thing's probably gonna come out and attack her, and I'm gonna be all the way far away from her. So I go back to Rosalia.
All right. Rosalia, do you want to bring forth a weapon just in case?
I might want to use my darkness. I could be saying
Yeah, you probably want to hold that until the appropriate time, because you might cast it and then it might dissipate before you have anything, before you find anything. But the packed weapons, you can bring those out and hold on to them just for as long as you need to.
so, the two swords, right? Like just the two little small swords.
Nope, those are your feathered blades that you can throw anytime. Your pack weapon is whatever weapon you want it to be. It's so when you want like to have a big sword, or you want to have like a mace or a spear or something.
I don't know what it's called, but it's like there's like a iron ball on the bottom, and there's like a spear attached to it. It's like a medieval weapon. That's the one I want.
Okay. Well, you have it. Let's see. So it's like a spear with a large ball, like a metal ball.
So it's like
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Don't know.
I don't know
You
the
don't
name.
have to know it. You just imagine it.
Yeah, it's that
That's
thing.
shape.
Is it the
Like-
halberd? Is it that what it is?
I just know you like go like this, and then you.
Yeah, it's on a
that's
chain.
right.
It's,
Right.
It's a
nice,
morning
it's
star.
Oh, right.
Is it-
Morning Star. Yeah.
Is it on a chain? Oh, I was thinking spear, but so like you would poke with it on one end and hit with the other. No, okay. Yeah, Morningstar. That's easy.
Get smashed with it. You wouldn't.
Like a flail morning star.
Like a
Yeah,
like a.
flail. A flail was actually maybe a small. I think it's
Does
a
it
big-
does it have a
smaller.
chain?
I have one if you would like me to go get an example.
Yes, please
Okay.
do.
It,
Um,
it resembles a mace, but yeah, it does have a chain.
Next
Yeah.
time I'll go. I'll make sure I have it on hand.
Okay.
Requires a lot of effort to launch.
Yes. All right. So that's a good time. So you have that
Brunia
now
also
out.
pulled out her greatsword.
Okay. All
I'd
right.
like to-
So
I would like to be hidden somewhere, but close to them, but also not. Yeah. Because my plan is usually to hide behind Rosalia now, but since she's bait, I want to not be by.
Good call.
With my
Right.
with my giant tower shield out, would you like to hide with me, Miss Sherloon?
Aww.
She looks kind of startled and then just like nuzzles right between him and the shield and peeks out the side.
Hey,
I'm
hey,
real happy
Danny, I know I'm not there, but can I ask a question about one of the buildings?
certainly.
What's with the what? So a whole bunch of them have haystack roofs. What's the building with the animals on it?
That building with the animals on it is a stone building. It's the only stone structure, and it looks like it might have been a temple or a guild structure or something at one time.
About asking the right questions.
Yeah, you're not here. You're not supposed to be smart right now.
No, John is smart. Hannibal would be like, "Neat building." John is just curious about the only building that looks different on the map.
With that, we should investigate it, guys.
The building with the animals.
Yeah.
They have a sense of some reason to check that building out. It just came to them.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So, like I said,
Yeah.
it is a stone building. It's crumbling in places. Not enough that you can enter on the ground level in a through a non-door passageway. There is a door on the west side that is basically mostly blocked off. Like you could try to climb up in over if you wanted to. The north side door still has a door in it. It's looks like it's actually kind of heavy. Wooden door with iron sort of reinforcement. The top part has a second floor, if you will, from the outside that you can see that has openings that probably house windows at one time and don't, but just seem to be open holes right now.
A building with a second floor. We might be able to get to see some more of the area from up there. I look around. Aegis, could you help me? I want to climb up this building a little bit.
Keep in mind, like I said, you're in this area of the Gaza Dobe. So what I've represented here is mostly ground level stuff. The area around the building that you're kind of focused on right now it has its own second floor, and then it's clear to the sky from there. But all around these buildings, this is the ground level. There's all like kinds of like buildings on top of buildings on top of buildings.
Got it. Right. Okay, never mind then. Because there's probably stuff up there.
Rosalia, how about you and I walk a little? So then if the thing is here, it will see you. But I do not want to leave your side.
If it's here, it probably already knows we're here, and it's probably already drawn to the elf. I don't know what elf has, like a scent that it's drawn to that.
I mean, I think you smell good.
Well, it thinks elves smell good for another reason. It probably wants to kill me, so it wants to kill me, tracking me. So,
I mean, yes, we can assume that you smell too good.
As she says that, I kind of like cock my head curiously, and I kind of wrinkle my nose and recall the smell of Rosalia and see if I can make a minor adjustment and make Perunia smell like that too.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's do a perception test just to see how well your smelling skills are, which is, of course, me making a perception test.
Yes, please. And I think I have an inspiration, so.
All right.
I'm looking at Lox's face. Lox is just like.
All right. Here we go. Perception with advantage. Bop. You feel good about it.
Okay. I don't know what it is yet, so I'm waiting. Oh, okay. Now I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll wiggle my nose and I don't tell them I'm doing this. I'm just curious for science if it'll work or not, and the thing might attack Perunia. So let's find out.
Now there's 2 elves. Nice.
Well, 2 that smell like elves. I mean,
Right.
Perunia still looks very much like a dragonborn.
I don't know how smart
Wait.
is.
What if I no, never mind. I don't have anything. I can't wait to get something though.
All right.
I'm gonna I want to put some distance between me and Perunia and Rosalia, but where I can still see them. Right.
And I go halfway.
Okay.
Don't trip on me, please.
And I'll just look down and mind you, kind of step around.
The arm straps that are on the shield, I just hold on to them and put my feet on the lower ridge of it, and then you can just carry me along.
You think you can do that, but that's actually very difficult.
And I'm holding 2 of them.
Aegis is not like the super strongest. He's not weak, but yeah, he's not like just drag you around, no problem guy.
Are you
So-
calling me fat?
Not at all.
Oh, no.
No, there's no voice from the heavens calling
Literally
you
3 feet
anything.
tall.
All right. Yeah. So as you are kind of moving through here, you do hear some movement from the northwest. Sounds like somebody is shuffling and dragging their feet.
Minya, go see what it is. And I'll drop her to do her sneaky stealth thing that I can see.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll. I don't know if that would be perception to see if I can. I mean, shuffling sounds like a sound somebody who couldn't quite control their feet would make. So I'm gonna see if I can tell what it is before it gets onto us.
I also
All
want to
right.
ready a potential action. So if it's a zombie, which I have seen a zombie, so I would take it, decomposing human being, walks around the corner, I want to shoot it.
Okay.
So my hand is just like right over my gun, like doing that, like.
Someday when we have like Clockwork the movie. Yes, right? Happening.
Yeah. All right. So as everyone waits tensely and Minya kind of curls around, Minya can definitely get the sense of somebody sort of shuffling forward, and then just kind of like bonks into the wall, stops for a moment, and then starts shuffling forward again, slowly, making sort of this.
I don't think that's Panabon.
It's
Nope,
it's
don't like that.
definitely not Panaban, but it's either a drunk or a dead person. One of
Let's
the
hit him
two.
and ask questions later.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I don't feel good about that.
All right, I'll wait a little bit, Shay.
I'm trying to get a better look. Minya, keep going.
All right. As it steps over Minya, not noticing. Randy, let's get a perception test for Locke.
Yeah, I have an auto success.
An auto success. What does that look like for this? So around the corner stumbles an individual, almost falls forward, but then grabs the corner of the building there, and then rights themselves, looks over in your direction. Where'd you get that funny hat?
Guys, false alarm. Sir.
Alarm?
Oh.
I don't hear no alarm.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't.
Are we sure?
That hat. I'll give you and he starts reaching into. You think it's gonna be a pocket, but then he has no pockets, and then he like reaches into his pants, like he's got pockets in there, and he's like, oh, I guess I.
Go back into your home, sir. There's a murderer about and he kills drunk idiots.
A murderer? That's where I'm going now to. Yeah.
Go.
Why?
Go ahead.
Why?
Leave.
What is that? Why do you have a big wall?
Mr. Locks, perhaps you just shoot him and then the spirit will take his body.
I'm not gonna murder the man.
I look up at Aegis, like, since he's behind me and I'm between this shield, like, appalled.
Sir, where's your home?
That way, and he points south, and he's like, and then he starts turning his finger, and then he's pointing east.
So what I'm gonna say is, I heard that there's a lot of alcohol wherever your house is waiting for you. So you should head on over there. It's a party.
That is very clever, Mr. Lux.
He stumbles over to the well, grabs the side of the well, reaches his head over.
Oh no.
And then you just hear this contents of his stomach are just going into the well. This is probably, nobody, you don't notice a bucket or anything around where people would like pull stuff up. So, and then he's like pitching almost too far forward, and you like, he's just about to drop, and then he kind of comes back up and stumbles back.
I'm gonna gesture in this direction to grab him.
I'm gonna try to grab him, like trying to pull him back.
Well, hey! Hands off the goods.
You stink of alcohol.
And
we need to get him out of this area.
Yeah.
I've gone home. And with that, he starts stumbling south. And just kind of watching him, you eventually lose him.
I'm frustrated because I want to prestidigitate a non-vomit smell, but I'm already busy prestidigitating elf smell.
So I'm going to prestidigitate a better smell over that well because it was gross.
Teamwork.
All right. Panabon about this time is arriving kind of on the eastern side, just thinking maybe I need to do the whistle. Because you feel like you should be about there, and then you hear voices.
Are they my voices or familiar voices?
They're familiar voices.
Great. How tall is the building? It's over here.
The stone building that has piqued your interest even before you saw it.
The hay building that is directly.
So all the buildings that are not that building, it's imagine that there's buildings on top of buildings on top of buildings.
Oh.
So,
okay.
But also not hard to climb.
Sweet. I'm gonna climb this building. Let's get a vantage point and see what I see.
So vantage point. The problem is like if you get over about the second or third level, you're not going to be able to see anything below. It becomes once you get to the top, however high that is, it's just like a sea of rooftops.
Okay. Well, I noticed the stone building, so I'm just gonna start going around the stone building. Can I move myself?
Yes. Wait, let me double check.
No. Yep.
All right. And yep, you can move yourself.
Okay, and I'm just going to start going in circuitous motion, and if nothing happens by the time that I've come across the other way, then people will know I'm there. Or if something happens before then, that's perfectly acceptable too.
Okay, make a perception test as you're moving around. And
I would love to.
All right. The stone building, silent. The building that you're walking by as you're kind of passing here, there's definitely, you hear snoring very lightly. You hear some folks in this other building to the south as you pass that one. This golden topped building here is, well, you're not sure what it is, but it's another odd building. But you don't hear anything in there, but this building actually looks a little more kept up. And other than that, you kind of come around.
Neat. Well, I like being in the shadows, and I'm not of use yet, so I'm just going to park myself right here.
We have no idea Panabon's here.
Which would be great if there's an attack, because I have sneak attack, and so it can be a fun little surprise for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
maybe
so
you should do stealth then, if you want to also sneak attack, right?
Yeah, if you want to roll stealth, to see how stealthy you are being.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can do that. I love
So the
rolling
rest of
stealth.
you, well, the drunkard seems to have passed by,
I'm not very stealthy.
not being very stealthy right now.
You said he went south. Did he pass by where Patabon's location is?
I mean, he would have.
Oh.
All right. I go back to my post over here, looking down this street to the left, to the north.
Okay.
I mutter to myself, Nipoe, have you led me here to be lost and confused?
I wish it would just attack already. This is stressful.
As soon as you say that, no.
Rosalia, perhaps it doesn't have your scent yet. Maybe we should walk in a circle.
Or maybe we should make a bunch of noise and get its attention.
Yeah, but we'd also get all the attention of everybody living in this area.
Maybe we just say elf really loud.
Yeah, and just start running like you've never seen an elf before, like you're scared, and then maybe it will come.
I say, Kihato, which is elf in Daewall, like real loud.
All right, so I think we're gonna
Yeah.
start walking slowly, and saying, "Look, there's an elf!" every couple feet.
Best plan ever.
Like that plan.
Okay.
Maria's not the brightest, guys.
I really am the only smart one in the group.
But
Okay.
I'm putting some distance between me and them just so that
Smart.
it doesn't look like I'm there.
So yeah, moving around, you mostly get a few, hey, shut up, and what, and couple of shutters, kind of like shuddering even more. Like you see the little crack, but then like the crack goes away because someone's like pulling it tight. As you are, so you're going around which building?
I think we were trying to make a circle, so like maybe up and to the right and do a circle around these buildings and go all the way south, and so like a 360
Okay,
going west first.
going west first, and then
Thank
up.
you for making the map actually like north directive, because I normally really struggle with this part.
And then from there going north to kind of where Lachlan's at, and then
That's
back
right.
to the east and around. Okay.
Yeah, but we're probably going to go around some of the buildings, not just like stay in this area.
Okay. Well,
Building like this.
with that, as you're coming around this this sort of pin, whoever's making this walk, so I imagine it's Rosalia and Perunia right now. Anyone else?
I'm wherever Lox moves,
here.
I'm like 10 to 20 feet behind,
Okay.
No.
and then
I-
Shay
I-
under my under my
Yeah, I
legs.
guess that's what I'm doing too then.
Let's have
Is this like-
Rosalia.
Is
Go
this
ahead.
like the daddy-daughter dance where I stand on your feet? And you...
Yeah. That might be the best tactical decision, actually.
Let's have Rosalia and Perunia make perception tests.
Okay.
Perunia has inspiration there. I think Rosalia must have
Yay.
one. I can't.
So that's just with advantage, right?
Yes, just roll with advantage.
Okay.
And
Ooh.
Nice.
Wow.
okay. As you kind of come around here, you do notice that this door right here is broken open.
Ooh, I enter.
Oh.
Just walking right in. Hello.
Good, sir.
All right. So entering in, you find a hovel, basically. There's like cloth, like a makeshift mattress in one corner. There's There's crates and stuff set up to be sort of furniture. There is a fire pit, kind of almost centered in the room with some various metallic metal items that they're obviously are using to kind of create sort of a makeshift grill, if you will. And the smell of blood.
Ooh.
Fairly thick.
We're behind within range,
yeah.
I would imagine.
We're a bit like we're between the building. Like there's a building between us. Oh, look at Aegis.
I had my sword out already.
We're moving,
but now
right?
that there's blood,
well,
I'm going to look for a body.
I don't wanna like get too close, which is why I'm just sort of keeping them in my eyesight, but like not too close. Because getting trapped in a small quarters with a guy who needs to shoot at things isn't probably not the best.
Fair.
Right, but we're like we're on the opposite side of another building, right? Wouldn't it be they're not in eye distance anymore. So
I could probably see them from here.
All right, so
yeah.
Inside the you can kind of make out Rosalia's head right now. So inside the building, there's a smell of blood. As you step in, there's also the smell of decay, and you could, like I said, you could kind of see those shapes as Rosalia steps in. However, as plain as day, she sees the makeshift bed, but she also sees the body in the southwestern corner that is laying in a sort of awkward position, as if it again just fell there. And you can also see a pool of fairly viscous blood just sort of pooled up on the floor next to the body.
As their body language kind of slows, usually when you like enter a room and you see something's there, you kind of like, I'll see that and move up like a little bit.
Will you see that? Make a perception test.
Sure.
It is with disadvantage because it's dark.
Oh yeah, and I'm human. Damn my humanity. Perception.
Don't worry, Aegis, though, as I come in and see this scene, I will lean back out and be like, this way.
Oh, okay.
There you go. See, now you don't have to roll. But yeah, Rosalia, it might as well be daytime in there for you.
As we approach the door and I can kind of feel like Aegis slow from like the darkness, I'm gonna turn my necklace on that has light that I have tinkered, and I'll actually just hold it like out, because otherwise it's gonna just reflect in the back of the shield and not help anything. So I'll kind of hold it out as I'm walking so it illuminates better.
All right.
Nice.
Is there any way to test with Arcana to see if the death was by magic?
There's not necessarily a way to test with Arcana. I mean, yes, if there's like very obviously some sort of specific spell had killed it. But other than that, not so much. That said, this is pretty much on point this was like the scene at the original killing, right? There was a body slumped over in a weird way, and then the fresher blood, where the victim of a killing had then got up and left the older body behind.
Would switch bodies.
Same situation, same thing, probably just left or
I agree. It seems like we are missing another body. But just to be sure, let's go ahead and burn this one or stab it or something.
Yeah.
I go up and stab it.
Okay.
I cast bonfire.
You stab it and it lights on fire as you stab it, and you're like, "Oh, magic sword." Yeah, so that is it's now on fire. There's now the smell of burning body.
Yo,
Sick.
It's in a thatched house.
In houses.
Yeah.
I can stop it. Just give it a minute. I just burn the body.
Panabon, what are you doing?
I don't yet have a reason to get near the house. I'm still just surveilling. I know they're there, because they're loud. But otherwise, I'm just here in the corner. I don't have a reason to, unless the house light's on fire, which would be inconvenient. But there are worse ways to get a beast's attention.
So the body is burning.
Any purple spirit? We're like watching it to see if any purple spirit gets released.
No. However, in the light of the fire, if you're inside, you can go ahead and make a perception test.
Oh gosh, please make one for me.
Yes.
I'm afraid though to actually don't make one for me because I'll like cast it on the body, but I really don't want to see the pile of blood and everything
20.
that's in there. So
Yeah, not 20.
And the dice gods are cool for us tonight.
So with the firelight on, you see the blood. The blood is pooled, but there's also a trail that exits out this front door.
Ooh. We follow. I say we. I have no idea if anyone's following me. I'm following it.
All right. You are able to follow this trail of blood out and all the way to this door right here. It looks like it must have been climbed up. Like I said, there's an opening there you could climb into, but it's not like a door that you can just get in. And you can see like there's traces of blood like over the rocks and into the thing.
Did we stop the fire before it got too big?
If we leave the room, I'm stopping the fire.
Okay. Yes.
It's kind of I'm waiting on Aegis to see if he's gonna drive me out of the room. So.
Yeah, I went.
Oh, I didn't even go in the room.
Yeah.
Oh, then why did I turn the light on?
Then here.
We're just watching them.
So, Danny, is there?
I went around the building.
Is there another way to get into this delightful stone building?
As far as you can tell, there's windows. There are open windows on the second floor.
I love open windows. Could I potentially get onto one of those open windows?
Yeah, so this part on the bottom is only like one floor up. So, and then like easy access to the windows from there. You don't even have to dangle or anything. You just walk in. But from the sides, you would have to do some weird climbing stuff. Yes.
Okay. So if I go this way, I can get up?
Yeah, you just climb up this one-story building, which is probably a fairly easy roll. So go ahead and give us an athletics to climb. There's nothing close enough for you to. There's nothing close enough for you to leverage your acrobatics here yet.
Oh, I hope I don't fall on my face. That would be the worst thing.
You do not fall on your face. You just make it up at the half speed of normal. So now you're up there, navigating around the thing and peering into this building. It's empty. There's several stone columns, and then you see that there is a trap door that has been shattered that leads down.
What do you mean by, like, it leads down into nothingness, even with my dark vision?
It leads down. It's stair. Well, I mean, it leads down into you can't see where it leads down because you have to go over there. There's.
Sweet, I enter the building.
Of course he does by himself. We don't know he's there.
Yes. All right.
Well,
so,
Perunia is hot on not their heels because she doesn't know that they're in there, but Perunia is also trying to get into the building.
Right.
Okay. Oh my god, this is gonna be amazing! I'm so excited about this.
All right.
Perunia.
Athletics for me too.
Yes, athletics if you're trying to crawl up that space, or if you are trying to climb the building, that's also athletics for you.
I will get behind Perunia and I'll brace my shield and make a little platform for her to step up on to give you like advantage on your test.
I just get out from behind.
So you were assisting Perunia there?
Yeah, I'll help.
So that's with the help action you get advantage, Perunia.
Nice.
So
Okay.
the one saves you from the one.
Yeah.
Okay. Both of those would be good. So you get boosted up, and you are now kind of grabbing on the side of the ledge. You see movement inside. Panabon, you have approached the stairwell, and it does lead into what appears to be a basement of some sort.
Great. I ready one of the vials of acid in my hand.
Okay.
I also am I where I'm supposed to be on the map? I don't actually know where the staircase was.
You are for now. I mean, are you going downstairs?
Yeah, I'm going downstairs. Got my vial of acid, but I'm good. Actually, I'm also going to send the whistle note because I've just realized that it's been a long time and they're probably thinking about me because I would be thinking about me. So I'm also going to just let loose with the whistle note while I'm here.
They hit the wave bristle. Got it.
I like that we're outside of the building and we just hear from the inside. And we're like, Panabon?
When did
So-
you get here?
There's that awkward pause of like, we didn't know they were here, and then it's like, well, Panabon's in trouble. Must be Sunday.
Yeah, but happily the strange Panabon sound is coming from inside the building that you want to get inside. So there's that.
I mean, yes, it's convenient for a change, but
So your token is where it needs to be. I don't know why
My
that
token is
keeps
so
happening.
amazing. I love this token.
I don't know why the token is so big. There it goes.
To
Yes.
show off the amazing artwork of said token.
Walking commercial.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
that's
good.
weird.
Oh, I'm excited about this. This is
Oh, no,
not
no. You gotta get
terrifying
in
at
there.
all. This is not
Okay, fair
terrifying.
enough.
Trying.
All right, so Perunia, as you kind of
Yes.
climb in, you see movement in the corner, and then it disappears. What I'm going to go ahead and do right now is, what is everyone else doing?
I'm calling for Rosalia. I just wanted to make sure Rosalia was with us. And Shayloon, are you with us as well?
I'm trying to keep up, but I can't see
Yep.
what you guys see, so I.
Oh, right. Sorry, I
Oh,
forgot.
right. Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
All right. So I want to also climb the building.
I'm just gonna stay there and brace for everybody to get into that opening.
All right, everyone can make a roll with advantage to get up.
This is gonna use my autos. The last one I have.
No, you don't have to use your auto for this if you want to use the
Oh.
advantage that roll. I'm just giving.
Okay, then I will roll.
Yeah, otherwise it's triple advantage.
No.
Whoa.
It would have been
So much
the last one is
So
just
much.
a auto to like a 20.
Oh, got it.
So that's why I didn't want to do that. So you said athletics, Danny?
It is athletics.
Wait, I gotta.
Triple advantage. Your hair turns gold. You start to glow. You just fly into the hole.
All of a sudden you're Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you just shimmy right up and into the thing right behind Perunia. There was the sound of a whistle coming from below as you have entered into the building. At this point, I am going to ask for initiatives.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh,
I figured
you're
that.
welcome, everyone.
Please help.
See, I'm a team player.
Wait, I need. Where
I
is it?
found the trail of blood, Panabon.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't roll my athletics.
Yes,
For
but
my
you didn't go
eventual
down into the
entrance.
remote.
Yeah, you
abandoned
got there
warehouse.
first. Damn it.
Yeah, he did get there first. Or
I
they.
got a nat 20.
Oh.
I got nat 20.
Wait,
I'm right behind you, though, Panabon.
yeah.
Don't die before I can get there.
I have a vial of acid. I'll be fine. Assuming the vial of acid works.
Can you roll
Yeah.
mine, Danny?
Yes.
Thank
Let
you.
me check something real quick, though. Can I roll this into here? And is it?
I'm sure this will be
You still see
fine.
it? Nice. That works. Great.
This will be-
Hey Dan, I rolled my athletics, but I forgot that I pushed disadvantage, so I'm gonna re-roll that. And I think I just got inspiration too.
Okay, sure thing.
Beep, beep, brr.
Rosalia, if you rolled, I don't see it in there.
Oh my god. Thanks for trying.
All right. Yeah, for Rosalia on the main page is your initiative, the INIT. All right. So Panabon, there you are. No shit, there you were.
Here I am. This is definitely a place that I am currently.
Verify.
It's also
just as a quick technical note, there are 2 maps right now for so
it's also is the abandoned warehouse, is this to scale so these squares are correct, or should I be?
You are correct.
Okay, so it's just really big squares. That's not disconcerting. Yeah. Can I see the skeleton remnants that are here? Like,
you see something that could be skeleton remnants, sure, yes. With your dark vision, there's enough ambient light for your dark vision to be working.
yes. Okay. Well, I want to see if the vial of acid is going to work, so I guess I'm just going to move forward toward the skeletons.
Okay,
Yeah.
so down the steps, or are you going to hop down?
Oh, are there steps? Oh, there are
Yeah,
steps.
you're on steps that come down.
Okay. Do the steps go to my west, I guess, is down into the...
Yep.
Okay. Down the steps. Actually, no, I'm going to hop down. What am I doing? Why would I use steps? Steps are for amateurs.
Okay,
It's going to hop down.
give me that acrobatics check to just make sure you don't turn your ankle
Please
by
don't
rolling
fall.
something really horrible.
That would be hilarious.
All right, you do not turn your ankle. Give me a perception test now to see if you can see anything else in here.
I am so terrified right now.
Yeah.
You ran ahead of us.
I am like the worst.
You didn't even tell us you were here.
I wanted to be a surprise. Like, hello, look at me. I'm here.
All right, so you don't notice anything just yet. You have the vial ready to throw at something that comes at you, I imagine.
Janet,
That's your
right in the
action.
ass pocket.
Ready action. Okay, got it.
Right in the ass pocket.
Lachlan.
Yeah, I'm going. Do I see the stairs leading down to the darkness?
You do. It's about 30 feet ahead of you.
All right. I think that's all of my movement speed. Let me just double check. Yep, I'm gonna move there.
All right, I'm going to move you into there. Let me fix your token here, because
I'm gonna whisper as I'm walking. Panabon.
They won't hear you. More to the point, they won't listen to you.
I'm still gonna try.
Would I be able to hear that? Like, I feel like I'd pick up on my name.
yeah, you hear that as Lachlan is entering behind.
New map.
Hello.
Oh,
What
they,
is that? I
the
hope it's
squares
not
are
evil.
big.
Hello.
Are you doing anything else? Are you doing anything with your action?
Yeah, I want. Well, actually, I probably have worse eyesight than Panabon down here. So let me see one thing. I want to
Don't
see
fall
if
down
I.
the stairs.
Oh no, that's not what I want to see if I have like anything. Oh, a torch. I'm gonna light my torch.
All right, you light a torch.
Hold it in my not shooting hand.
All right, Perunia.
I am following as fast as I can. I don't know how Lox just got right by me. Damn, those humans are fast.
Yep. Well, I think you spent more time kind of looking around the area. As you get to the stairwell, you either have to stop where you're at now, or you can take a dash action to continue moving.
I'm going to take a dash action to continue moving.
All right, so 10 feet of your dash action brings you here. Let me make sure that's locked properly.
I love these tokens. Man, wouldn't it be neat to have tokens like these for your campaign?
It would. What can I do to
Nice.
get them?
Well,
Oh, I didn't realize
That was your prompt.
you started a
You can
commercial.
if you
so-
go to the Kickstarter page.
Yeah, Kickstarter page. All right, so that's 10 feet of that movement. You have another 20 feet of movement, Alex, if you
So
want.
I continue to run in, and if I can see the unidentified creature in front of me, I will run towards it because that's what
Okay.
I do.
10, 20, right here.
And then I will stop because that's all my action. So
Aegis.
I assume we're not all in yet, right? We're going according
No,
to
you're
initiative.
you're out of the. Yeah, you're gonna try to climb up the building.
Well, because Shay and Rosalia aren't in there yet, right? So I'm just
Right, they're
bracing. Wait till they're in. Yeah, I'm still
Okay,
helping
you're
you.
giving them the help action. Shayloon, would you like to try to climb up in there?
I really would not.
Actually, you could also go through the crawl space that I talked about because it's really big for you.
Yeah,
A human could go through.
I would prefer that because climbing isn't my strength, and especially when the roof is a lot farther up for me than the others. So
Right.
I would like to crawl space.
All right. Given the difficult terrain of the crawl space, that is where you end with your movement. You can dash if you would like.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
All right. So you dash to the edge of the steps.
And I still have my light necklace on, so.
Okay. And then.
So Lox, if I'm close to you, should be able to see.
Torch.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
What I would like for you to do right now, Panabon, is well, because you have a ready action.
Yeah.
So what you're gonna do is, let's see here. Does that work if I do that? Go ahead and roll as if you're throwing a dagger. So make an attack roll. You are throwing your vial of acid at this thing.
Yeah, but I'm using one of my throwing dagger things.
Yeah, just use that just as if you're as if you are throwing a dagger at the creature. Yes.
Do I need to expand it, or do I just click on the die?
Just double click the dice.
Okay.
All right.
didn't
You-
you have a success in the chat? Did that not happen?
I have an
I
auto
don't know.
success to stabbing, but I don't know if that's a thrown or if that had to be like in the face. I would love
think
for it
it's
to
for-
be an auto success. I mean, it's a dagger, technically. Well,
You know what? We're going to say that we'll give you the auto success there. All right.
Yeah.
So go ahead and what you're going to want to do here is just roll 2d6 from outside of the
great.
the.
The D6 is the one that looks like a triangle, right?
No, it's a
So-
square.
It's a square. Okay, and then I'm just gonna roll it once
Once.
and roll it twice.
Okay. So yeah, it splashes. The acid gets all over it. It starts running down. You can hear the sizzling sound. It's rather disgusting. Rosalia, give us an athletics check to get inside the building.
Yeah, selfishly, I just really wanted to see what that acid would do.
does acid things. All right, and then with advantage. So easily you enter into the building. Are you going past Shayloon into the downstairs area?
I want to get in a closed space with them. I would rather prefer to stay outside the building. But since I'm in, I'll stay close to the entrance.
Okay. So yeah, you're kind of hovering back. Shayloon is in. You see Shayloon up ahead. You see light coming out from a trap door where the steps are, and you can hear folks down there. That takes us to the end of round 1, and Panabon, it's your turn.
Sweet. 30 feet. What would that let me do? What could I do with 30 feet? I guess it's not a sneak attack because they threw acid in their face, right? So probably not a sneak, I would guess.
Yeah, sneak attack was not acid was not sneak attack. No.
Yeah, once you throw acid, they know you're there. Like that's not sneaky.
Well, you are a rogue though. You can hide behind a pillar and then maneuver around. That's as a bonus action you can hide. And as long as you have something to hide behind that makes sense, you can do so.
Sweet. Do I have anything that I could hide behind here, though?
There's pillars. There's mostly pillars. Yeah. I don't know if you could do that and then get close enough, but
I was going to say, if I move south, can I hide behind what I assume this pillar is next to the other staircase here?
Certainly.
Would they see me if I did that?
Probably, but then you make the hide roll while you're in there. And the way I look at it is like you disappeared from sight, and so they kind of know about where you are unless you have an escape route or something. But they're not like, they can't see you like pull back your hand and throw the dagger or what have you, right? They just...
Okay, so I'm going to do that. Is my... Yes? Maybe?
Yep. So make a hide check. Or stealth check.
Make a hide check. Stealth check.
That is not the best stealth check you could have made.
Nope.
So you will not have that advantage because it sees you there. But you can make an attack if you like.
25 feet. I could probably throw a dagger 25 feet, right? I would think.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Yeah. Let's throw a dagger.
All right.
Why not? What's life for if not to try to throw a dagger?
Okay.
Oh
Does that work?
You threw it right into the thing's head.
Yes! Right into the eye socket. Right next to the acid vial.
It's what you do best.
Thank you. All hail Melfroon.
Yep. Did you roll your damage?
I did not. That's right. Nope. That's how do I do that?
You double click the where it says 1d4 plus 3. Just double click that.
Yes.
All right. The dagger flies right into its head. Acid kind of just splashes out as well. And it just starts to fall back. As it falls back, simultaneously, the creature within is not falling back and is standing, just sort of standing there, looking horrifying, if you will.
Magic locks.
Yeah.
Don't care
And
for
with
that. Don't care for that at all.
Yep. That's where we're probably.
With that, we are stopping for the evening.
Yeah.
To see.
I just wanted to say it's showtime. That's what I was.
Showtime.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, that's our session for the evening. Please join us next week to see if they kill this thing. Fingers crossed, and or to see if they TPK as Kender Mage wants. And we'll see. Don't forget to check out the Kickstarter if you haven't, or remember to tell folks about it, and join us Monday night for Dresden, Tuesday night for Shadowrun. You can join Randy on Wednesday night, and then back to us on Thursday again. Yeah, it's a full schedule. So, anyone else have anything before we close?
Fridays community game night, Saturday mornings also D&D, and then we're back at Sunday here. Also, if you've been enjoying what we're doing here, consider joining our Patreon for as low as $2 a month. You get access to a whole lot more content, including first access to the preludes that we created. So you get to see how this group came to be and kind of the stories as individuals and couples starting to get to form this group. So really great content. We're dropping a new one tomorrow. So really exciting.
All right. Well, with that, it's a pleasure. Thank you, everyone in the audience that joined us. Thanks, of course, again to the cast for playing along with all this shenaniganry, and thanks very much to Tom for running tech.
Thanks, Tom.
Because this is I'm rather demanding. I'm like, we're gonna do this and this and this and this, and Tom makes it happen. So super appreciate that. And we'll see everyone next week.
Yeah, sounds great. Bye.